Hi, everyone. Welcome to Copi Cafe episode number 76. We're starting off 2024. I guess this is week two of 2024 with Copi Cafe. And we're excited to just tell you a little bit of what's going on in preparation for a good and amazing year. So for those of you that don't know what Copi Cafe is or what Cornucopias is, I'll just go ahead and do a quick intro. Cornucopias is a cutting-edge MMO RPG set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their very own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit. Okay, there's the reading of our what Cornucopias is, and you saw some graphics along with that. So if you haven't met Cornucopias yet, be sure to head over to our website, cornucopias.io. Check out the wiki, look at everything that we've done, create a player account, and sign up for testing because you can get access now just by holding a vehicle NFT or a land NFT, as long as your graphics card is sufficient and meets the qualifying criteria, which in most cases is a 3060 or above in terms of GPU. So please sign up for our testing. But yeah, so we've got some exciting stuff to talk about this episode. It's mostly, well, I wouldn't say exciting. It's mostly planning and organizing. And here's a little bit of what we're going to be talking about. The node update. We're going to be talking about the survey that went out, the avatar creator, where we're at with that, some processes and planning that we're implementing, and then we've got community questions for you, and as always, of course, a leak. So without further ado, Rob, what are you drinking today, sir?
Yep, hello there. Well, today I'm drinking some R. White's lemonade. Nice and simple.
R. White's lemonade. Is that all they make, or do they have like tons of different sodas?
I don't know. It'll be a brand thing. They might be owned by Coca-Cola or something. I don't know. It's got a lot of green on it. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
What are you drinking today, Josh?
Sorry. Oh. Whoa. Did you shake it up? I'm just drinking a coffee. We're shooting early today, so too much sugar. You gotta watch out for that sugar. It does wrecks on the body, on the human body. I can't talk though. I've got some coffee-based creamer in there that's got some sugar. All right, let's do this. We got a nodes update. 103 nodes left. Node sale is going well, but that's on Cardano's tier 4, and we are really working hard to get the east side of the sale started. Anything else?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why those are the figures while we're filming here on Wednesday. But by Friday, when this goes out, or Saturday, then should be less than 100 left. And then,
yeah, I would imagine. I mean, it's just kind of on a slow trickle at this point. People are waiting for the east side to start up. There's a lot
ahead of where we thought we would be, so that's good.
Yeah, I think it's doing great, and we are talking to a candidate that's going to help build out a potential candidate that could help build out the nodes infrastructure. Jeff is talking to someone right now about that. So taking what you've done development-wise and looking at the architecture and how we're going to set the whole thing up, and that is in the works. We're moving towards actual implementation of the system. So we'll see how that goes. That's a very early stage conversation. we've got the survey. So you created some surveys, sent those out. What do you have to say about that?
There's three surveys. At the time of recording, one has been sent out. I think we're going to send out another tomorrow. Maybe the final one would have been out by the time this is aired, or maybe we've got one more to go. Those are really useful. There's a kind of a generic one. There's one talking about VPSs, and there's one talking about another kind of more about the gaming side of it. So they only take a minute to fill out, but your feedback is really, really valuable. And we do take them on board, and they, depending on some of the feedback, it could shape something that we develop a bit quicker in the short term. But yeah, if enjoy them, because they're really useful for us.
Yeah.
Especially if you
Please
test them.
just look for those in our Discord. We need your feedback. We want to hear from you guys, our community, on what you're liking, what you're not liking, what's working, what isn't working, so that we can make adjustments according to what most people are wanting, and get that. The feedback is crucial. We're in this together. We're all in a very early stage community that's building something awesome that we want to bring to the world. So we value what you guys have to say. So please jump in there, help us out, fill those out. It's helpful to us in terms of direction and where to allocate resources, and what are the things that really need to get a second look at, and that sort of thing. Because really, this year is about preparing us for marketing to mainstream. That's a lot of what this year is about. Is we're getting to that stage of a game where the infrastructure should be in place fairly soon for automatic scaling and to bring on the masses, which should happen in crypto first. So like we ought to bring in a large amount of crypto savvy Web3 gamers into our project this year. But then moving into 25, we need to be looking at mainstream type approaches, and to get a lot more users and gamers playing. So yeah, a lot needs to happen there, and your feedback will help us to get to that place. So, all
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
next up.
just following on from that, talking
Sure.
about
Yeah.
the infrastructure, we we spoke a lot towards the end of last year about game lift, and now that we know more about game lift, and we've been talking to that team there, what we've actually decided is because the vastness of our game, and how we have this huge metaverse side to it, which then goes off into the smaller game, like the racing sessions, is that we need more of a customized solution. So we're actually part of that infrastructure project is we're gonna do that infrastructure ourselves. So create our own matchmaking, create our own server sessions, and handle the architecture ourselves. We've definitely got the skills in house to do that, but they were kind of all tied up. But now that we've taken a closer look at that over this last month or so, we definitely think it's a task that is actually not too bad, and would actually help us longer term with some of the other plans that we've got, rather than just offloading and complicating it with another team of game lift. So that
Yeah.
this is one of the things that when you're building out in the open, we will have decisions that normally people wouldn't see, that you would just see, right, this is the final solution, this is what the game looks like, this is everything. Whereas if going back 2 or 3 years, you won't see all these important decisions that are happening along the way, and this has definitely been one of them, because obviously the architecture and that technology shapes that the massive part of how the game's implemented.
Yeah, and it doesn't change really the timeline.
No,
Game Lift
no.
speeds certain things up, but it would, because of the complexity of what we're building, it also slows things down in some regards. So we might be able to do some things faster with that, but it just came to light that with the large vision of this project and with everything we have to accomplish, a custom solution is pretty much a
Yeah.
necessity. And so we've done the research on how we want to do that. We've done the Miro boards on the game and system setup, and now the team is ready to start planning out the how this architecture is going to start. What's the foundation, and then we build on that from there.
Yeah.
But the
And
beauty of that is that we have the expertise in house to create the efficiencies exactly the
the
way
thing
we
is,
need it to be.
a custom solution is really always that people have done, in AAA gaming and normal gaming. Services like Game Lift, they're actually quite new over the last few years, and they've been implemented, to help smaller teams, and it costs more as well, and you have less
Yeah.
control over them. So when we say a custom solution, we're just following the standard path of developing a game of this size and scale.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're good. We're in good shape. I think that the estimate on it was like 1 to 2 months, but we should have
Yeah,
something working well soon. And then hopefully, that creates some new efficiencies for the gameplay experience as
yeah,
well. Like going into a race and when you get to restart the next race and the timing that it takes to remain active and just the quality of experience. Eventually, this enables us to get to a point where we can go, where's your system checking in from? Oh, we're going to put you in a US server, or
yeah.
eventually we'll get to that point as
I mean,
well,
that's
right?
that's all that Game Lift is. It's just a middle service that sits as a plugin inside your game and sends people off. We're more than capable of writing that middle layer
Yeah,
ourselves. So
yeah,
that's what we are going to do.
simple. Yeah, okay. So that covers the survey and infrastructure a little bit. The avatar creator, you tweeted about it, but that is on the roadmap. Not only has it been on the roadmap for a while, but it's getting to those final stages where we're feeling really good about it. Not only is that coming to fruition very soon, but the avatars have been given a pretty massive upgrade as
Yeah.
well, uh, which is great. And so we'll show more details on that soon. But I'm excited about the avatar creator. It's going to give us a lot more variety of character experience within the game. It allows you guys to geek out and build different avatars for yourselves. I don't know if we're probably not going to have the ability to save multiple avatars or anything like that.
But I don't think
Going to
that's the
be
I don't think that's the plan. No, but
no,
we're in debate at the moment. How many options we should give? I think because the number I've been told is that we have up to 300 different sliders that we can
yeah,
change, and
which we won't start with,
that's a lot.
but we have that.
100
Yeah,
sliders is a lot. Even 50 is a lot. So 300 is an awful lot. And whether that number's accurate or not, whether it's closer to 200, I don't know. There is just a lot. But yeah, but what it does mean is that we will start off with a subset of that. We'll decide what they are, and then we might have a basic option, and then we'll build up to an advanced option going forward.
yeah,
But these will be there'll be sliders. So there's so many different ways to build the characters, obviously, and the way that we built our character system is you don't just kind of, here's a list of eyes, what kind of eye do you want, or here's a list of noses, what kind of nose shape you want, because I mean that's the whole kind of, maybe like the traditional or the Nintendo approach. Ours are going to be a bunch of sliders. So as you slide one of the options backwards and forwards, or maybe like the cheeks, you could move the left cheek one way or the right cheek, and then in and out, and the shape of the eye, and the nose, and the chin, and the ears. And we probably will have kind of, here's a look and feel of a haircut, because that kind of makes sense. Do you want this kind of a hair, or do you want this kind of a beard, or something like that, or maybe, well, all those kind of stuff. So you can see, even though at first glance it's like, whoa, that's a lot of options, they will be nicely categorized into head and outfits and shape and all that kind of thing. So we're just waiting off some, I think, initial prototypes for a front end off Mark. He's been working on that, but the actual sliders and everything in the background, we've had them for months because that's how we built our current characters.
Mark's working on the look and feel of the UI.
Yeah.
Declan's working on the programmatic functionality of the UI. Yeah. And then you have Jim working on a lot of the morphs and
he built all the morphs, yeah. So the way we've been building our characters at the moment is he's kind of got his own kind of development version of that, which is not user friendly because it doesn't have to be, but it's basically a lot of ones and zeros that he just changes and can do his own sliders in, and he's used some other tools and automations, but that all now needs obviously presenting really nice and simple and clean to the users. So that I don't think that will take that long to implement before we can start testing it internally. But in terms of when everyone will get their hands on it to have a first glance of the initial system, we're definitely aiming to get that within this first quarter.
I think it'll be February, but who knows? That's just a guess.
Well, that'll be good. February internally. I mean, if we can release it by the end of February,
that'd be great.
Be amazing.
We'll see. That's the goal. Gives us a lot more marketable presence as well. So you start to see a good amount more variety in the game. It's going to put high pressure on us to have some outfits and variety that people can select for their avatar to wear.
Yeah.
So that would be the next step following that, is we need to have, ideally we bring somebody on for clothing, outfits and things of that nature, to accessorize and build up your avatar and flesh them out.
Well, whatever
you want to do.
That's the next part of, David always talks about building the core functionality, and then eventually you move into a phase where it's just adding more and more content. So we're still at the building the basics at the moment before we move into that content part.
Yeah.
But obviously you need content as we go along. We've got a team at the moment that create obviously our current outfits and our
But I want to create a cool shopping experience where you've got this new pavilion area and you've got that clothing or that accessory store with the purchase or whatever. What is the brand name? I'm forgetting the brand name.
The everywhere one.
The everywhere one? I don't know. No, the one with the purses that looks like a combination of Lululemon and Vuitton or something. I don't know.
The two L's.
But that brand that, so you could walk into the store ideally to that store and look at different items and hit Y, and then it brings up a menu to make the purchase and sign the transaction. Like that would be the ideal way to have a shopping experience in the future. In the beginning, we'll probably just have that buyable in the marketplace, but like eventually we want it to be more like a real world shopping experience where you can walk into a store and make purchases.
There'll be many shops. There'll be the basic shops. There'll be specialized shops. So like there'll be a mining shop. There'll be a sporting shop. There'll be luxury shops. Handbags and stuff, and places to trade. And then no doubt we will also maybe have some partner shops in there in the future, and then some physical ones where you can buy merchandise, maybe our t-shirts and our hats and you get a physical, you can do anything once that infrastructure is in place. Yeah,
the international shipping is the problem with something like that. But it's definitely something we're looking to figure out at some point. It would the challenge would certainly be the international shipping. But like if you wanted to take that a step further, things that get me excited about having a shopping experience where you actually use your avatar and walk into the store. Well, what happens next if we partner with a major fashion brand that gives you a discount to go into their store and buy these items, or to buy them and have them, they deal with the international shipping, but you can buy the item in store and you get the digital item and you get the physical item for yourself. That would be pretty cool. I mean, that kind of thing is really definitely possible where you
Yeah.
partner with a major brand, and then ideally the tech you build out there is your avatar is a replica of your body type and size or something to that effect. And it allows you select a clothing item and it puts it on so you can visualize how you look in it. Now, with ours not being a perfect realistic replication of myself, I don't know how well that would work, but we could start experimenting with things
For
like
your
that in the
avatar,
future.
though, one of the benefits of the outfits on an avatar is it will always fit them, no matter how you've morphed them. You know,
True.
one size kind of does fit to all. But I suppose if we look forward to a future trend, I can see, you know, a huge, absolutely huge market in the future for digital fashion. We've already seen the starts of it now, and I think digital fashion for in-game assets, you know, it's going to need a
Well,
place to
I mean,
thrive.
that's
And
a proven trend.
yeah,
Look at Fortnite. It's the
yeah,
number one fashion brand in the world is the digital merchandise. So yeah, 100%.
yeah,
That is definitely on the roadmap, but it's a matter of how and
but
when we can get to it.
yeah,
And
but that kind of once we've got the infrastructure working for our pavilion, you know, that code then can translate over in the future to custom domes. So everything we're building, showing off that we can achieve this technology, is with an eyesight of right. How can we put them in the future? How can we share them with players? How can they customize? How can they implement them? But yeah, that's a longer term vision. But
yeah,
this is
yeah.
where it starts.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that everything that we do in X, Y, and Z will automatically translate over, but
No,
we obviously have the infrastructure to be able to potentially do that. So definitely a possibility. Okay. Processes and planning. I mean, it's the beginning of the year, so
yeah,
this is kind of something that we did last year at the beginning of the year. We buckle down and we have some organizational meetings. What do we want to accomplish this year? We just had that meeting with Zach, and we talked about, okay, for our next 90-day planning session, we need to make that the yearly planning session that
mhm,
then becomes the 90-day planning session after that. So, what are the goals for each department of Cornucopias over the next 90 days? Marketing, what are the goals? What are the goals for finance? We work on that with Ben. What are the goals with project management and agile with Zach? And David, we'll meet with him and discuss, okay, where do we want to go with the game over the next year? And then what's the next 90-day plan to pull that off? We've kind of got a good idea already of
yeah,
the 90-day plan, but you and I need visibility to, okay, what can we really pull off this year? And what is that going to look like so we can strategize around it, allocate resources. We're looking at bringing on another 10 people potentially this year if we find the right ones to help us get to, hopefully, like we've talked about before, the game loop is enough in place to where we can build out a specialized custom domes team. I mean,
yeah.
that would be ideal in my mind. If we just at bare minimum got the team to build out custom domes by the end of this year, that would be huge. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
The
we've
goal
got a
is
lot
that,
of planning documents. We just don't have the resources to
right,
implement them.
right. Well, we haven't been at a place where we could utilize the resources.
Yeah, well, they're not
Like we're
free. Yeah,
literally
because
right now going as fast as possibly
yeah,
we could go. But when we get to a certain point where the game loop is more in place, is
mhm,
when we could actually start scaling out team specific
yeah,
things, which is where we're at this year, which is pretty awesome because that will just further accelerate development
yeah,
of ideally the environments, the lands, Solace, Esperanza, and Fortune. Those are looking, we're making a lot of progress there, which is great.
yeah.
Um, Even getting into some creatures, which I don't know, we didn't have that slated to
Well,
discuss, but we've got some fun
we've
stuff coming.
yeah we've seen a fish. We won't talk about some of the larger creatures that we've also seen.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll save that for the future. But I will say we are, you know, all the tidying up and everything that we wanted to do on Solace One, that is now complete. David is doing a final look over to that, and then that will be handed over to the testers. So although they do have access to it, this will be the version, the pre-alpha version. So a final look over from our internal team before we can then think about handing that over. The next stage is to all our public testers. Work has begun on Solace 2 before Christmas, so that is churning along alongside that as well. So I think we'll see this, like we talked about, the fast delivery of the Solaces, then the Esperanzas, and then the Fortunas, and then it's going to be. I think even this quarter is going to have some really good solid deliverables.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this quarter, the end of quarter one, we should be very well positioned, with everything that we have on our plates. Assuming we pull all of that off, that's going to be enormous for us. Some of the other planning that's going on is, I'll just give an example of the types of planning we have going on. So marketing, we want to be fully buttoned up in terms of every process that our team has to execute on. Things are getting noisy in the bull cycle. So which videos do we reshare? What's the process for determining whether we reshare a video? Do we need to make sure they don't have any scam? We do everything we can to not reshare something that's like malicious, right? So there could be somebody with a scam X, Y, and Z. So we have a process for each thing that we do. And we're defining all of those processes and getting them into Asana. That way somebody's accountable for it. Here's an example of a process that we're adding. We need to have a company newsletter, a Cornucopias newsletter that goes out to our entire email group and lets them know what's going on. Well, that is something that we're putting into place so that we can execute on it on a monthly basis, and all the people that are responsible are held accountable. They go to Asana, as opposed to the marketing team's the only team that's on Asana versus Jira or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, those processors are looking, to help us to be to just take our marketing team to the next level. And then you add on PR and Walksman and everything that we're doing there, we take it up another notch. And then we add paid marketing and things like that. So everything that we're doing there is just to try to get louder about who we are and what we're doing. We even have an influencer process that we're working on.
We got some good influencers.
Yeah.
Some good influencers about to be lined up.
Yeah. So I think that's a good time to move on to community questions. Cool. Yeah, you wanna jump into that? I'll ask you this time. Cuff from the Mafia said, will nodes be able to run on a Windows virtual machine?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, a virtual machine is kind of a subset of your Windows machine now, and you just kind of allocate some of your running resources to it. So you can say, look, you can have one processor or two processors. Here's the memory, and it can kind of run alongside. So yeah, you could definitely run a node or two on a virtual machine if you've got a big, powerful PC.
Yep. And Danny Girl 3 said, hey guys, for the ETH land sale, will any other land be located in Solace, Esperanza, or Fortune, or will they be located in new zones?
Yeah. Well, we've not announced whether we're going to do future land sales on another chain or not. So it's a bit of an assumption. But if we were to, the next land sales will be on different theme zones. So there'll be no more land sold on Solace, Esperanza, or Fortuna. They'll be on.
Yeah, those were sold out. Yeah, those were already sold out. But we do have future land that is coming, Cornucopias land that's coming. Whether that's this year or 25, we don't know yet. We would only add on one zone at a time, whereas the first time we added zones 1, 2, and 3, Solace, Esperanza, and Fortune. This time we would only add zone 4, and that would be the type of thing that, to Rob's point, we have announced that that's going to be a cross-chain sale, but ideally it would be, but there's still a lot of variables we got to discuss with that. Ideally, there would be some that are sold on ETH and some that are sold on Cardano, but we don't know.
Yeah, and
yet.
obviously it depends on the interest in the project. As the user and the player base grows, then that would make our mind up whether we're going to do those sales or not.
Yeah, there's a good number of factors there.
Yep.
But okay, next question. Norton S24 asked, will Cornucopias be purchasing an Apple Vision Pro to start testing to see what can be brought to the game eventually? Pre-order starts January 19th.
Well, I won't be ordering one, will you?
I don't, not yet, but I am excited about what that tech does, and I'm also nervous about what that tech does. I don't want to see a bunch of people walking around with freaking machines on their head, Yeah.
I mean, I think it's inevitable that we will do some VR in the future. So we'll not only buy the Apple Pro, we'll buy others. But we've got a big roadmap in front of us for this year. So maybe not this year. Maybe somebody will buy and we'll play around with in the research lab. But I don't think we would make that public. But I mean,
it's the type of thing that we could test that in Cornucopias Labs. We could test that in a custom dome. But there's so much on our plate for this year that we have to deliver on that it's not time for that. I think the main part is, yes, that's an exciting development, and we will definitely have our eyes on what's happening there. But it's so early stage for all of that tech that it's almost counterproductive for us to work on it at too early of a stage. We want to see it come along a little further. We want to see how it develops. We want to see how the ecosystem fleshes out. There might be a service provider that helps us to really do that in an efficient way when the time is right. We don't know. So there's just a lot of uncertainty, and the roadmap is so full. But it's definitely interesting
of new tech. Talking of new tech, though, it is exciting to see that NVIDIA have announced that some new super. So the 4080 Super and the 4070, because not only are those, those will naturally work with our game, but they're also coming in at it looks like a much cheaper price point than the previous 4080s and the 70s. So technology moves on, and I paid about $1,500 for my 4080. It looks like 4080 Super.
All of you that got graphics cards, they're being devalued as we speak. But the reality is it's good news, because when the GE 4080, it was just demoed recently, the 4080 Super at the CES conference or whatever. But that is making it less expensive to get the 3060. It
trickles down. Everything becomes cheaper coming down, which is what we've been saying. Don't rush out and buy these cards. Give it a chance to become cheaper and cheaper. Yep,
exactly. It's a good thing for us. It'll make it easier and easier to get more people in. All right. Well, I think that brings us to our segment where we need to bring up the leak and close it out. So here we go. All right, everyone, that was our leak, and this is Copi Cafe, episode 76. Hard to believe, but we've remained consistent at communicating everything that we have going on in Cornucopias with you guys, our community, because you mean a lot to us, and we're thankful that we're all in this together to make an amazing game that entertains a lot of people, and hopefully so much more than that in the future. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Break it down like I don't care what you say. Got me the game all day, game all day long. What would the doctor say? Play till the sun goes away. Faster than a torpedo, running through Toledo, fight like a mosquito. Oh, you better stop, try coming for me. I'm the one on top. scene. With a slick daddy club, ride in the club, retro my whole side of my door.